Welcome to Beyond the Veil, the channel that unveils the mysteries hidden between myth, history, and legend. Here, we explore what lies behind the stories that have passed through the centuries, because every myth has a grain of truth. If you too are fascinated by the unknown, subscribe and get ready to look beyond the veil of reality. Betrayals, wars, forbidden loves, and incredible powers. The Greek gods were not mere deities but the protagonists of legendary stories. But who were they really? Why did they wage war against each other? And what secrets lie behind their myths? Today, we will uncover the true story of the gods of Mount Olympus. Long before Zeus ruled Olympus, the universe was a primordial chaos, and in command was a ruthless god, Cronus. According to the myth, Cronus feared being overthrown by one of his children. So, every time his wife Rhea gave birth to a child, he devoured it mercilessly. But one day, Rhea decided to deceive him. Instead of handing him the last child, she gave him a stone wrapped in swaddling clothes and hid the newborn far away on a secret island. That child was Zeus, and when he grew up, he swore revenge. With the help of his mother and a powerful poison, Zeus forced Cronus to vomit up his siblings, Poseidon, Hades, Hera, Demeter, and Hestia, and together they declared war on the Titans. This war lasted 10 years and is known as the Titanomachi. Lightning split the sky, the sea was in turmoil, and the earth trembled beneath the fury of the gods. In the end, the gods won and condemned the Titans to eternal imprisonment in Tartarus, a pit deeper than hell itself. Zeus took the throne, Poseidon the sea, Hades the underworld. The reign of the gods had begun. Zeus, the most powerful of the gods, was the lord of thunder and the sky, the arbiter of the fate of both men and gods, wise and just, at least when it suited him. Because yes, Zeus wasn't exactly the picture of fidelity. He had dozens of lovers and would unleash the furious wrath of his wife, Hera. Hera, the goddess of marriage and fidelity, was the undisputed queen of Olympus. But more than a loving wife, she was a true queen of vengeance. Betrayed too many times by Zeus, she took revenge on his lovers and their children, making life impossible for many heroes of Greek mythology. But beware, it wasn't just resentment. Hera protected family and marriage, and she was even feared by Zeus himself. If Zeus ruled the sky, Poseidon ruled the oceans. But don't expect a peaceful god. His mood was like the sea, unpredictable and destructive. It is said that he was so irritable that every time he became angry, he made the earth tremble. The Greeks feared him, praying to him to avoid earthquakes and storms. But he also had a creative side. It is said that he created horses and was the protector of many heroes, unless they made him angry. Zeus, Hera, and Poseidon were the heart of divine power, but they weren't the only ones, because war, wisdom, and vengeance were in the hands of other gods. Now, let's discover who they were. War was omnipresent in Greek mythology, but it had two opposite faces. On one side, strategy and wisdom. On the other, the blind fury of battle. And behind these two aspects were Athena and Ares. Athena, Zeus's favorite daughter, was born in a rather unusual way, emerging directly from her father's head. She was the goddess of strategic warfare, wisdom, and justice. Unlike Ares, who represented the brutality of conflict, Athena embodied tactical intelligence, and warfare fought with cunning. It's no coincidence that she was the patroness of Athens, the city of philosophy and knowledge. But beware, she was by no means a pacifist. When war was inevitable, she fought with unstoppable strength, and rarely lost. And then there was Ares, the god of war in its most brutal form. While Athena was the mind behind battles, he was the blood spilled. Adored by the most ruthless warriors but despised by the other gods, even by his father Zeus, who considered him a barbarian without control. But Ares was not just fury. He also represented courage, strength, and the primal instinct that drove men to fight. He was often accompanied by his children, Phobos and Deimos, terror and panic, because where Ares was, chaos was sure to follow. Everyone feared Hades, the god of the underworld. But was he truly an evil deity, or just the most misunderstood among the gods? Son of Cronus and brother of Zeus and Poseidon, Hades did not choose the realm of the dead. It was assigned to him when the gods divided the cosmos. But beware, Hades was not the god of death. That was Thanatos, his messenger. Hades did not cause death, he welcomed it. He was the guardian of souls, the ruler of the realm from which no one could escape. He was unyielding but just. He did not punish sinners, that was the job of the Furies, but ensured that every soul received its fate. But even the lord of the underworld had a weakness, and that was love. Demeter was the goddess of fertility and the harvest, the generous mother who ensured abundance for the earth. But her happiness was shattered the day Persephone disappeared. Desperate, Demeter wandered the world searching for her daughter, and in her grief, she made the earth wither. Without Persephone, winter enveloped the world. In the end, Zeus was forced to intervene, and ordered Hades to return Persephone to her mother. But the lord of the underworld was not easily deceived. Before letting her go, he made Persephone eat 6 pomegranate seeds. Anyone who ate food from the underworld could never fully leave. And so it was decided. For half the year, Persephone would live with her mother on earth, bringing spring and summer. But for the other half, she would have to return to the underworld as Queen of Shadows. Thus, the seasons were born. When Persephone returns to her mother, nature blooms. When she descends to Hades' realm, cold and death envelop the world. From the darkness of the underworld to the rebirth of the earth, the story of Hades, Demeter, and Persephone reminds us that life and death are inextricably linked. But among the Greek gods, there are others who rule over fire, love, and even chaos itself. Noble, brilliant, and charismatic, Apollo was the god of light, music, and prophecy, the favorite among the gods. But beware, he wasn't just the god of art and harmony. He could also bring plague and destruction. In addition to music and medicine, Apollo was the god of prophecy, and his oracle at Delphi was the most powerful in the ancient world. He was a brilliant god, but also arrogant, and his pride cost him many failed love stories. If Apollo was the sun, Artemis was the moon. While he brought art and civilization, she ruled the wild forests. Artemis was the goddess of hunting, nature, and women. She was free, independent, and didn't want men around her. She was a protector, but also a merciless avenger. Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, and also one of the most dangerous. She wasn't just the goddess of sweet feelings, but also of passion and lust, capable of destroying entire cities with her power. She was married to Hephaestus, the god of the forge, but her heart belonged to Ares, the god of war. And finally, Dionysus, the god of wine, festivities, and madness. He was the god of intoxication, but also of transformation and chaos. Adored by mortals, he was the only god accepted both among the Olympians and among mortals, a symbol of absolute freedom. The Greek gods were not only warriors and rulers. Some brought art, love, and inspiration, but also chaos and destruction. All the gods of Olympus were invited to the grand banquet for the wedding of Peleus and Thetis. All except Eris. But Eris, the goddess of discord, was not the type to accept an insult in silence. It was a small gesture, a simple golden apple. Yet it was the spark that ignited the most famous war in history. To resolve the dispute, Zeus chose a mortal judge, Paris, Prince of Troy. And so, Paris chose Aphrodite and took Helen of Sparta. Without Eris, perhaps Troy would never have fallen. But discord has always existed, and no god has ever been able to control it. Among the forgotten gods, one of the most mysterious is Hecate, the goddess of magic, ghosts, and spells. She was the guardian of crossroads, the point where the worlds meet, that of the living and that of the dead. Feared and revered, Hecate was not bound to Olympus. She existed in the shadows, independent, older than many gods. Her followers were witches and necromancers, and her power had no limits. Older than Zeus, more powerful than any Olympian god, Nyx, the primordial night. She was so terrifying that even the king of the gods feared her. Daughter of primordial chaos, Nyx was the mother of some of the most feared entities in the universe: Hypnos, sleep; Thanatos, death; and Nemesis, vengeance. Nyx didn't need armies or weapons. She was darkness itself. They have been forgotten, but their influence is still felt in the world. The discord of Eris, the magic of Hecate, the darkness of Nyx, ancient forces that even the gods of Olympus could not control. The gods of Olympus, powerful and invincible, ruled for centuries. But what happens when their fate is fulfilled? Many believe that Greek mythology has ended, that the gods lost their power over the passing centuries. But the truth is that mythology never truly ends. The gods are still among us, in the myths we tell, in the legends that live in our hearts. Now, in a modern era, where does mythology end and reality begin? Perhaps the gods have never truly disappeared. The gods still guide us today, in every choice we make, in every myth we tell, in every legend that remains alive. And now, it's time to conclude our journey through myth. What remains of their power, and what impact has it had on future generations? We have crossed Olympus, among wise gods and warriors, between the fire of battle and the shadows of deception. We've met the protectors of life and the lords of death. We've been carried away by art, love, and madness. And finally, we've whispered the names of the forgotten gods, the ones even Zeus dared not challenge. Now, it's your turn. Which god struck you the most? Are you more fascinated by Athena's justice, Ares' fury, or the unfathomable power of Nyx? If you enjoyed this journey through myth, leave a like and write in the comments if you want a video on Greek mythological creatures. Minotaurs, chimeras, dragons, they're scarier than you imagine. And if you want to continue exploring the secrets of the ancient world, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. The next video will take you to an even darker world, older than Olympus itself.